A couple of videos back, I did Good Twin, Bad Twin, Part 1, where I proved that theologians and translators had been lying about the Bible for centuries. It was a centerpiece of a campaign of slander and libel directed against homosexual Christians. I also proved that Jesus is explicitly pro-gay. I also showed that these same translators and theologians probably knew that, because sometime several centuries after the Bible was written, an addition was made to the text that muddied the water. Now, mind you, we have to follow the same rules heterosexual Christians have to follow. We have to take the world seriously. We cannot be drunkards. If we're alcoholics or if we're addicted to drugs, we have to struggle. We must repent of our crimes against God. We must forgive those who trespass against us. The best way I've seen this said is a young man, while still in high school, told his father that he was gay. His father on earth tells him the same thing our Father in heaven tells us. Fine. The same rule applies to you that applies to your sister. No boys in your room. It's not any better on the gay end of this. We've known since the 1970s that the biblical case against homosexuality is at best shaky. Speaking for myself, doing that video, Good Twin, Bad Twin, Part 1, I was shocked at how blatantly fraudulent this case was. And yet, instead of attacking the case, our glorious gay leaders completely ignore it and attack Christians and Christianity instead, over and over and over again. And by the way, they don't attack anybody else. This is obviously based on the correct assumption that their gay parishioners are going to just follow their lead and assume that Christianity is anti-gay, when in fact it's pro-gay. Probably the only religion for which that's true. Both sides of this argument have clearly made deals with the same devils. Now, there will be a part 2 of Good Twin, Bad Twin, but this you can consider a spin-off, as well as a companion video that I'm releasing at the same time. Ni is for Neteo. They're originally going to be in the same video, but things get out of control with me. In this video, I'm going to start to work on the obvious question. If the anti-gay texts of the Bible, the so-called clobber passages, if they're not about gay people, then what are they about? It's good to have a negative case, but you have to have an affirmative case too. Well, I've turned up a lot of very promising leads, and I'm just getting started. Even as I speak, I have more research material coming in from Amazon.com. But get ready for some surprises. Long story short, what I've found here restores both the clarity and continuity of the passages that I'm dealing with. This is exactly what we see happening in Good Twin, Bad Twin, Part 1. Now, this by its very nature is potent evidence that I am on the right track. And that word potent, it's coming back around in this video, a very interesting way. Now, obviously, I'm going to bring in the Minoans in a massive way, but as you'll see, it fits with my overall narrative here, that the Bible is awesome, that Christianity is awesome, and that it's not at all foreign to European civilization, as an increasing number of people in the Alt-Rght have come to believe. In fact, the reason why Christianity did so well, specifically in Europe, is because it has been in many critical respects a European religion from the very beginning, even in the Old Testament. You'll see, especially when I walk through the alphabet and how I think it got started. Get ready for more surprises, unless you've been watching my videos. Now let's do some Bible reading. Alas, the glory of Israel, slain upon your heights. How can the warriors have fallen? Do not report it in Gath, as good news in Ashkelon streets, lest the Philistine women rejoice, lest the women of the uncircumcised exult. O mountains of Gilboa, upon you be neither dew nor rain nor surging from the deeps. Defiled there the warriors' shields, the shield of Saul, no longer anointed with oil. From the blood of the slain, from the bodies of the warriors, the bow of Jonathan did not turn back, nor the sword of Saul return unstained. Saul and Jonathan, beloved and dear, separated neither in life nor death, swifter than eagles, stronger than lions. O women of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothed you in scarlet and finery, and covered your clothing with ornaments of gold. How can the warriors have fallen in the thick of battle? Jonathan, slain upon your heights. I grieve for you, Jonathan, my brother. Most dear have you been to me. More wondrous your love to me than the love of women. How can the warriors have fallen? The weapons of war have perished. This is a poem of grief written by a heterosexual man to his male lover in the Bible. The glory of men is reflected in their women, just as the glory of the sun is reflected in the moon. Therefore, it is more wondrous that a man should be loved by another man than by a woman. From the blood of the slain, from the bodies of the warriors, the bow of Jonathan did not turn back. Who has a bow as a weapon? Yahweh, the God of thunder. He sets his bow in heaven after the flood. His arrows go forth in the psalm. Swifter than eagles, stronger than lions. Griffin has the body of a lion and the head and the wings of an eagle. Griffins in the Bible are called cherubs. What does Yahweh ride? Yahweh rides a cherub. Jonathan is the image of Yahweh. And David wonders, Jonathan loved me. What did I tell you about the cult male prostitutes? Bringing on a soldier lover to urge you to greater glory is not the same thing. And that is exactly what we see here. To my people, here was the sun god. The sun god is the thunder god. Talked about that from the Rig Veda. I remember the first time I saw a grown man naked. I was a boy. It was a completely innocent situation. I swore I was looking at a sun god. To this instant, I wished he had kidnapped me. It is not a coincidence that a couple of hundred years later, we would see the first freestanding Greek statues. They are of nude male athletes dedicated to Apollo, who's actually the god of sunlight. But Helios, the true sun god, he drove the horses. He drove his chariot across the sky, and the horses drove the storm. So he's also the storm god. The Greeks are drawing from the same well the Israelites are. And it is exactly as I've been telling you. The Israelites are not alien to Western civilization. Their religion is firmly grounded in it. And now ends another epic video, even though I promised not to make any more of these. Alas, I am an INTJ. Things get out of control. But this video is important. I think Christianity is about to come roaring back. I think Holy Mother Russia will be in the vanguard here. Even as you watch this video, the Russian Orthodox Church is forging closer ties with American evangelical Christians like Vice President Mike Pence. God bless them. I'm all for it. I'm also confident that within 100 years, most people on the planet Earth are going to be Christian. I think within my lifetime, and I'm 53 years old, there will be more Christians in China than the United States of America. Christianity is amazing. We would have spread from Europe to Japan were it not for the catastrophe of Islam, and everybody in the world would be Christian today. Alas, that was not the will of God, and we must obey. But I think we're getting ready to make up for the vast majority of that lost ground. If you're Muslim, you better watch out. We're not going to coddle you. But if we don't get ahead of this upcoming sea change now, the old fag-bashing Christianity is going to be back in control, as we see in Russia with the Putin administrations. And once again, we homosexuals will be hated exiles in our own lands and among our own kith and kin. Our current gay leaders aren't helping. They're doubling down on the anti-Christian hate. I promise you, many of our enemies would be happy to murder us in the streets, and they welcome that hate. Andrew Anglin, over on the Alt-Right, baldly advocates suffocating us in bogs, or following the Islamic example of throwing us off of rooftops. I think most men in the Alt-Right agree with that sentiment. I will fight with my whole heart and soul to make sure that that does not happen. It is not inevitable. It is the work of Satan, whose highest goal is to divide the church so he can break it. It gets in the way of good Christian theology and proper biblical exegesis, an added bonus for Satan. But as I've shown you in this video, we can go big here. A whole world will open for Christendom if I can just get my brethren to accept this simple fact. Jesus Christ welcomes you into his church even if you're a homosexual, and you do not have to be celibate. But you can't be a whore either, so get it under control, boys. Let's get her done. If you like this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe. If you know somebody who might like it, send them my way. Ditto for them. Thumbs up, subscribe, pass it on. Do that for all YouTube creators that you like. We work very hard on this. Some of them make this look a lot easier than it really is, and we appreciate your support. Thank you, and God bless.